Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats. Our program will begin in 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hamilton County Schools 2023 State of the System. At this time, we ask that you rise as you are able for the presentation of our nation's colors by the Junior ROTC from Ooltewah High School. At this time, please join us in the reciting of our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance Please remain standing as the colors are retired. Thank you. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the principal of Tyner Academy, Dr. Tiffany Irvin.
Good evening. Welcome to Hamilton County Schools. My name is Dr. Tiffany Irvin, principal at Tyner Academy, home of the Rams football 2A state championship team. Level 5 school for the previous 5 school years, and we are definitely a school committed to cultivating our scholars through strong leadership and diverse learning opportunities here at Tyner, or there at Tyner Academy. I am excited for the future of Tyner Academy and our community as well as our school district. I am especially thankful to those who are now standing on the promises to provide our students and our staff with the deserving safe, secure, inspiring learning spaces, of course, that they all deserve. It is also meaningful to be here with you in this building today. We hope you're planning to join us here again in 2030 to see this space completely reimagined as a beautiful, innovative learning environment. Once again, thank you for attending. And now we'll have our HCDE chairwoman, Tiffany Robinson.
Thank you, Principal Irvin, and that was unfair to have me follow her. Just an FYI. Good evening. It's an honor to be with you tonight. In my 7 years serving on the Hamilton County Schools, on the board of Hamilton County Schools, I've witnessed significant progress and innovation unfold as our teachers and leaders create learning environments that truly bring out the best in every student. This school year is no different. Our board is proud of the work that has been done, and we are eager to see Hamilton County Schools continue to build on the strong work happening in our schools. Initiatives like the Portrait of a Graduate, work-based learning, and future-ready institutes are examples of opportunities we provide to students to push beyond the limits of education. But as all strong organizations evolve, we too must resist becoming complacent. The strategies we implemented to become Tennessee's fastest improving school district are just a starting point. In order to go further, we must continue to think boldly. Our board is excited about new initiatives that center on the belief that all children can learn, a focus on student personalization, individualism, and a sense of belonging. But in order to go further and to really be bold, we need your support. It will take our entire community rallying behind our teachers, our students, and our leaders to get us to where we want to go. I invite you to get excited about Hamilton County Schools. I know I am. We're at a moment in history where our local leadership believes that our education system is our most valuable asset. And one of our biggest cheerleaders is here with us tonight, Hamilton County Mayor Weston Want.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Tiffany is one of our community's most outstanding leaders. She and I had the opportunity to work together for years, and I think the world of her. To know the future of our county, and indeed our entire region, look to Hamilton County Public Schools. The future of all local economies are going to be a reflection of their workforce more than ever in the years ahead. And our workforce is the 45,000 public school students enrolled today. That's the workforce of our future. And to that end, I'm grateful that the state of Tennessee, with record surpluses, has chosen to make historic investments in our students and our teachers. And I look forward to seeing how Dr. Robertson and great leaders like Principal Irvin put that money into action, with an emphasis, as our state leaders have called for and funded, on career and technical education. Since taking office a little over 5 months ago, Dr. Robertson and I have convened a school facilities working group that includes Commissioner Lee Helton, who walked in a minute ago. And we've done that to explore how we can modernize the school facilities of this wonderful school system, but to modernize them in a way that serves every student and doesn't stop at fixing leaky roofs. And to be sure, there are some, and Commissioner Sharp, who's here, has pointed out the many needs that need to be met urgently. But our plans, and I think this working group will be able to come forward in the months to come with a roadmap for a more ambitious vision where our goal is to build inspired places of learning. And that's something that I grew up around. My grandfather, Don Wamp, designed the entirety of 8 of our public schools, in additions to many more. And as a little kid, I would watch as he and my grandmother would go back and forth about the tiles that would go into a bathroom, or the way that cabinets at Red Bank Elementary or East Ridge Elementary or Soddy Elementary would work best for teachers. It's that attention to detail that is what I love about Dr. Justin Robertson. Dr. Robertson brings into his role a unique perspective, really unlike one that anybody's had before him. An elementary principal, middle school principal, high school principal, lifelong Chattanoogan. And I'm not objective, but I think he is one of the most consequential leaders in our community in my lifetime. And so there's a video that will come next, but it's my honor to introduce the Superintendent of Hamilton County Schools, Dr. Justin Robertson.
Different places. Our implementation of EL education has been featured nationally. We have a record number of K-2 teachers who have been trained in the science of reading. Senator Bo Watson also came and we did a literacy summit that recognized the need for working with our earliest learners. We set out to ensure that every student had very strong teachers in front of them, as well as the supports that they need.
We've also really been focused on the idea of accelerating student achievement rather than remediation. We can find the exact skills that students are missing to be successful, and we can provide them those interventions or enrichment that they need to master a standard. We're seeing incredible growth that really speaks to the work that our teachers are doing. Across the district, we're going to be able to serve students at every percentile and give them exactly what they need, and that's equity. That's what we want to see in our school systems.
So we are really getting our students ready for that career world, that industry, and that college world. We're able to offer our students hands-on experiences and partnerships and field trips to really see early post-secondary opportunities and to prepare our students for a global technology and to look at the world in a different lens. So I look forward to continuing to offer all those opportunities to our students.
I would definitely say Hamilton County has provided tremendous supports in all avenues whenever we need anything. There's
investment in technology, Mr. Perez, is that what I heard you say? Thanks for coming. We're really excited about you being here tonight. It's the first time since 2019 that we've been able to do this in person, and so really appreciate Dr. Irvin for your welcome, and Ms. Robinson, Mayor Wamp. Mayor Wamp went a little bit too far in his gracious remarks. Last year when I was standing here, I told you I couldn't think of a more meaningful job than to be the superintendent in Hamilton County. I remain committed to that. My wife would probably tell you that I have more gray hairs than I did a year ago, which is true, but if you see my dad in the back, I'm lucky I have any hair. So we're winning on one end. We're excited to share with you kind of where we've been the last year, but more importantly, to look at where we're heading. And we're going to spend much more time thinking about the future than we are celebrating the past year. Before I go any further, hopefully you've seen a lot of kids. That's by design. We've got a lot of students here that are helping us, whether it was the rock band from Ooltewah High School that welcomed you when you got here. They literally just joined the band in September. So from September to now, they were able to do a whole welcome show. But you see all the students that are a part of this evening to make it happen, and we're thankful for them, thankful for the adults that got them here. Also want to thank the school board. 5 years ago when we adopted Future Ready 2023, I'll be honest, I think there are a lot of skeptics in the community about where we stood as a district in the state, about where our focus was, and our school board was committed to providing that guidance and focus. And that's what Future Ready 2023 did. It provided focus, and to me, it was the most integral lever in our success the last 5 years. And let's be clear, we still have a lot of work to do, but we've come a long ways in the last 5 years, and it's because of many people in this room. So to celebrate some of that, this year we focused on academic press and personalization. What we mean by personalization is we know that every kid comes to us with strengths and barriers. We've tutored over 8,000 students this year with partners like the Urban League of Greater Chattanooga and United Way. We also served 4,000 students in summer programming last summer. It's pretty amazing. That's about 10% of our population. We also continue to remain committed to Future Ready students. We added 3 more branded partners, U.S. Express, Coca-Cola, and Novonix, and also added a work-based learning component with Komatsu. The Construction Career Academy is a big step forward. This is a partnership that is really focused on workforce development. I was in a meeting with that group a couple days ago, and they polled like 30 of their partners. And just within those 30 partners, there were like 350 jobs that they could have offered today. And so we're doing our part to ensure that we're helping develop the workforce as we move forward. We're persisting in trying to ensure that we're getting the best teachers, and not only getting the best teachers, but that we're keeping the best teachers. The past 4 years, we've served over 800 first to third year teachers to ensure that we've kept them in Hamilton County schools in front of students. When we opened this school year, we were staffed at 95%. It's pretty incredible for a district our size with 45,000 students, 95% staff. That's a testament to the work of our HR staff, who many of them are here tonight, and just the persistence in ensuring that we're serving our teachers well. You as a community stepped up. We've got to have community partners. You're going to hear that a lot tonight when we talk about this thing. We've got to have you as community partners. We had our 2nd annual Partners in Education Awards banquet. We were able to celebrate our Partner of the Year, Girls Inc. I didn't see anybody from Girls Inc. Anybody here? Not yet. Yes, there. I can't see you for the lights, Laura. Thank you. We also, through our Back to School Bash, hit a milestone this past year, serving over our 10,000th student and family. And that's because of partnerships with community groups. Many of you are here in this room where you stepped up to make sure that we are serving kids well. Last year, when I was talking about effective and efficient operations, I used two words, bold and courageous. We're going to have to be bold and we're going to have to be courageous. We finally fulfilled a promise, 20-year promise in the making to CSLA to get them in a new facility. That's an exciting milestone that took bold action. We also took courageous action. The school board and the county commission, the county mayor, when Tyner bid came back, and you heard a little bit of it from Dr. Irvin, but when it came back over budget, could have made a decision to say, let's cut back some programming, let's take this wing off, but they didn't. They were courageous in ensuring that we were providing the facility that Tyner students deserved, bold and courageous. So when we think about the next strategic plan, this really goes back a year. Started with many of you serving on 6 transition committees that helped our team smoothly transition during the second semester of last year. We also went around and talked to many teacher groups, student groups. I see many of you, or several of you here that are in the superintendent's teachers cabinet. We've listened to people over the last year to develop this plan. One of my favorite moments, and we've got a couple of students from these sessions, is Dr. Stewart and I were able to go around and have lunch with high school students in every learning community, and just to hear from them what they wanted to see in a world-class education system that we can do in Hamilton County. What I've been encouraged and inspired by is the vision and the commitment that people in this community have to Hamilton County schools, and more importantly, to students. What I also appreciate is the candid nature of some of those conversations. It is interesting what some of those conversations can bring out, but that's important for us to hear because we know that we've got to get better. And what we know about this is this work is not just about us as a school system. It's about us as a community saying we're going to step up and we're going to serve our kids well. This quote is not mine. We tried to find who wrote it, and we couldn't, so we just put it up here anyway because we felt like it was really fitting for this moment. It basically says, today is our opportunity to build our communities tomorrow. Again, this is a community effort and one that's going to take bold and courageous action for us to improve as a school district. A year ago, we talked about our just cause. This is really what drives us every day. When we wake up serving 45,000 students, we wake up with the idea that we want every student to thrive and experience a future without limits. This really propelled us into this next strategic plan to make sure that we are serving our kids well. So, Opportunity 2030. Really excited about this moment. And I want to start by giving credit to Red Bank High School. We worked with students at Red Bank High School to create this logo, and it was their creative vision that led to really a logo that's going to last for the next 7 years. Opportunity 2030 is built around the premise that for us to succeed, we have to have community support, but more importantly, we have to serve our students holistically. What we know is that it takes more than just reading and writing. We have to take care of kids, and we have to remove barriers for kids that will prevent them from succeeding. We also know that a lot of our kids come with strengths. Look at the band. And we've got to feed those strengths, and we've got to really engage them in a way that will help move that forward. What our commitment is, similar to what we made last year, commitment last year was talking about opportunities and access. We said we're going to create opportunities and provide access points for students to ensure that they're thriving. Opportunity 2030 is a further commitment to that idea. That if we create opportunities, build the access points, that our students will thrive. Really what hit the nail on the head for me is Kevin Wilson. He's the teacher Red Bank High School that worked with his students, and I thought he said it best. When we talk about opportunity by design, what he said to his kids is, you're living examples of this, living examples of what the district is trying to do by intentionally providing access and opportunities for students. I want to say thank you to Kevin and to the students at Red Bank High School for working with us on this. Our school board has a huge task and an important task. Part of it is creating a mission and vision, but more importantly, it's holding us as an administration accountable to following through with that mission and vision and following through with our commitments. We develop beliefs. These are very simple, but if you read them, there is a lot of meaning behind them. I would argue that maybe not everybody at this moment in this community agrees with these. What we hope is that at the end of 7 years that everybody in this community can agree on these beliefs. What we know is that sometimes things can distract us. But when we talk about all students can learn, we can commit to remaining focused on kids as a community. And it's going to take us as a community to follow through with this plan. We want you to know about our values. The values are what drive you every day. If you think about your personal values, it's what makes you get up and move forward in the morning. I'm not going to talk about all of these, but again, integrity and the idea that we are putting students at the center of everything. That's a community commitment and one that we need to unite around. We know that we've got to care for people. That's caring for our families, obviously caring for our students. We know that we've got to do a better job of caring for our teachers and caring for our employees. Finally, we heard you. Talked a lot about the last year and us listening. Here are some of the comments that have come out of those sessions, and we want you to pay attention, to see that your voices are in the next strategic plan, to see your voices and the things that you value are in Opportunity 2030. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I want you to see that there's a lot of talk about students, their strengths, and their barriers. You're going to see a lot about creating students that are life ready. And those themes are going to follow us throughout the night as we get into Opportunity 2030. So this is a culmination, right? This is going to set our priorities, and it's a big moment for us right now as we think about what is our next step to improve. At the very center of this plan is the concept, the idea that for us to do better, we have to serve students holistically, and we have to be in tune with the wellness of our people. It's our kids, but it's also our employees and our families. We've been building towards these commitments, and it's a framework that will drive our work. I would ask you right now, if you're here with us or if you're at home, if you're here with us, you have a copy of it in your seat, that as we start going through it, you can follow through with us and you can go a little bit deeper. If you're at home, you can go to hcd.org and you can find a copy there. But what we are committed to is closing gaps, to ensuring that we're creating opportunities for each and every student. I hope that we can see ourselves in this plan. We got some great feedback of saying sometimes when you say every, some communities, some people in our community don't hear or see themselves in every, right? And I want to be clear here that when we say every student learns, when we say every student belongs, every school equipped, every employee valued, and every community served, we mean each and every student, each and every family, each and every community, from right here in East Brainerd to the furthest tip in North Hamilton County. If you want to go downtown from Orchard Knob all the way out to Karen Hollis's Ooltewah High School, right? So we mean each and every. I hope you'll follow. Thank you. I hope you'll follow along as we get into this, and we're going to start with Every Student Learns. I'm going to ask Dr. Stewart to come up and walk us through this. Dr. Stewart has been integral in helping us push academic press and personalization. Dr. Stewart.
Good evening, everyone. So glad to be with you tonight as we pivot, right? As we finish up one strategic plan and move into Opportunity 2030. As we talk about the commitments we have as an organization to the next 7 years. And as Dr. Robertson has already said so well, we hope that as we walk through our commitments with you here tonight, that you see yourselves in those commitments, that it's something that you're nodding your head to, and you can really say, yeah, I'm with that. I really want those same things for this community. And we start in that place with learning, right? We have to start with the notion that every student learns. Everything begins with us as a learning organization and our responsibility to make sure that we are in fact preparing the next generation for what lies ahead. Dr. Robertson has already mentioned our time in the high schools. I guarantee you it was some of the best days that we had in the fall where we got to sit around, have lunch with high school students, and listen to them. And you're going to get to hear from some of them tonight. So I'm going to invite up to the stage a junior from Central High School. This is Isabella. And a junior from Central. I said that right. And Eric is a senior from Central. Would you guys welcome up here? So I want to talk about learning, right? Talk to us just a little bit about what your experience has been at Central and how your teachers and how your principals have really fostered that level of learning and supported your learning in schools.
I think Central is a really good example of that because we tend to have some very excellent teachers at Central. We have some very genuine and caring teachers who truly care about their students and want to make sure they actually understand not only just the learning, but just a personal level of the student and to make sure that their well-being is doing well.
That's right, that's right. Learning and good well-being, I love it. Eric, talk to us. I remember when we were at a table together and you were talking about how we've gone to this year-long schedule, and you were talking about how hard school can be sometimes and all the things you guys as young people are juggling. And you started getting into rigor and being in these advanced classes and how much support you felt like you needed to be successful. Talk to us a little bit more about that experience.
Yeah, Hickson High School offers a lot of AP classes that I've taken, and since my junior year, took some AP classes for the first time, and it really was a challenge for me. It was hard adapting because usually, I don't study that much, but taking that first test, right, it's like, oh man, this is not the grade I expected. Yeah. So, gonna have to start studying now. And then now I'm a senior, I'm taking AP Calculus, and I thought, hey, I took one already, I'm more prepared for this. And again, another challenge hits you. It's wow, okay, this is more rigorous than last AP class I took. And the teachers, they help you, they really do help me, at least, taking on these challenges with the curriculum, I guess. They'll, stay after school, they'll tutor us, and it's really, they're very welcoming and opening of not, automatically getting it at first. So they were really helpful in that aspect.
I love what you just said, right? That we could be a school system that when a kid doesn't get it at first, we provide the wraparound services, we provide the tutoring, we welcome them in, we say it's okay for you not to get it, let's work to get it a second time, and it sounds like you got the support you needed there at Hickson. All right, in one of our times together, as the kids were giving us feedback, they said, are you talking to middle schoolers? Dr. Robertson and I looked and said, not yet. Middle schoolers a little scary, maybe we'll get there. But I want to finish tonight with you guys by saying, what's the advice you would have given your younger self when it comes to success in school and learning?
Just really to keep going, because it does definitely get hard, whether it was with COVID or coming back to school and taking all honors classes and becoming a senior next year. Like, it does definitely get difficult, but to keep going and that you can find the support that you need within your school and within your community.
That's great. Thanks, Isabella.
I'd have to tell those younger students that they should really take all those opportunities given to them. They provide you with really important lessons that help you grow and important experiences.
That's fantastic. Take advantage of all the opportunities. Opportunity by design, right? Thank you both. Appreciate you. So what you'll see in the strategic plan is that every single commitment is followed by 3 objectives. And then those objectives are followed by strategies and by metrics. So for every student learns, these are the 3 objectives that we've had. That first one talking about how we're really committed to making sure that our students are great readers and writers and thinkers. As we were in one listening session with parents, one of our parents said, we were talking about learning and making sure that our kids were meeting the mark, and the parent stopped and said, I want you to know something. I don't send my child to school to perform for you. And we said, that's right. That's right, you don't. You send your child to school to make sure that he or she has a fantastic experience in our schools, that they feel like they can be their best self, so that they can, in fact, become these readers and writers and thinkers that we so highly value. We want our kids to reach the mark and to be on grade level. And so we're designing learning around the standards as we're expected to do. The other thing that you'll see in Every Child Learns is this commitment to early learning, really doubling down on that K-2 literacy space. You can't have spent time in the state of Tennessee or anywhere in the country really where we're not talking about how important it is to have our kids reading at grade level in elementary school. And that requires our commitment to the earliest learners, and you'll see our intentionality around that in this system. Some of the strategies here, of course, we've got high quality instructional design. You've already heard Dr. Robertson talk about this year we're really focused on academic press and personalization. Academic press is all things teaching and learning. It's these lessons. It's the high quality instructional material we're putting in people's hands. And then when you partner that with a personalized experience where kids feel a culture of care wherever they are, we know that they will in fact get better. And then the last thing you see here on the strategies is that we want to intervene early. We don't want to wait to respond to our kids' needs. And we've done that by being more intentional to gather information from our kids so that we can in fact respond to them. So as we continue with our commitments, we know that we have to set a culture to make that happen. And so we'll move forward with that.
Thank you, ma'am. What we heard loud and clear this past year, and I think that many of you would agree, is that kids need to feel a sense of belonging. They need to feel like they are valued. And so one of probably the newest and maybe the biggest deviations from Future Ready 2023 is this commitment that every student belongs. One of my favorite questions to ask people the last few weeks, it's really been the last couple months, it's a really simple question, but it, for some reason, puzzles people, is what has connected you to school? What is it? For some, it's friends. For others, it's the idea of wanting to achieve something. For some, it's coming to an AV program. But what we've got to do is create cultures that support students beyond learning, the personalization piece, the holistic approach to ensuring that our kids are well. I'm going to invite Kim Woodleaf up on the stage with me. Kim is a parent from Signal Mountain, and one of the things that we have really tried to impress this year is that it's really important for our kids to be connected to adults, right? To their teachers, to their coaches. Kim, you've got a great story about how connections with adults, at school have really helped your 2 girls.
Well, I only have one girl. 4 boys, 1 girl. Yeah. Yes. We have been a single parent household for about 7 years now. I lost my husband and the children's father 7 years ago. My now 22-year-old was 15 and a sophomore at Signal Mountain, and my twins were 4. So without the help and the assistance of the entire community, we would not have been able to navigate. In fact, I couldn't be here tonight unless Melissa Albritton, an aide at Nolan, hadn't volunteered to take my son Cooper to a Signal Mountain Middle School wrestling tournament.
What are some of the memories you have from those connections that your kids have made?
Well, if you want to talk about elementary school, Deborah Smart created a grief session amongst several kids actually in this grade, 6th grade, have lost children. And in 3rd or 4th grade, she started a grief counseling program where they could come together and just talk about their dynamic. It's often strange because you get a lot of questions in school. Tell me about your parents. Yeah. When you only have one parent to tell about, it's a big gap.
Yeah. Good.
So Becky Leary was instrumental in helping Katie Beth write a story that allowed her to win the Scholastic writing. It was, many people won 10, but she got several books, and it's fostered a love of reading for her forever.
Awesome.
Joe Jellison, the Signal Mountain Middle School coach, has now coaching my third boy, and without him, they wouldn't have that fatherly figure. Josh Payne, again, the same situation, just loved my child and allowed him to make All-State in football, and now he's graduating college in May.
Good. Thanks so much for sharing. Katie Beth, I hope that tomorrow night is awesome. First middle school dance. Have a good time. Aiden Porter is a senior at Red Bank, and we met Aiden at one of the listen and learn sessions, and Aiden was so well-spoken and so, passionate and out there. I was like, man, I bet this kid has been killing it since 9th grade. He's just had an awesome 4 years. When I learned afterwards, it's junior year wasn't so great, was it?
No, sir, it wasn't. Junior year was a big struggle because I also feel like junior year is that time where, as a student, you start looking forward to senior year and you start wanting to get out of the high school and you start wanting to get in the real world. For me personally, I kind of lacked on some grades a little bit. Fell behind in a couple classes, and I'm sure as parents y'all know, once your kid falls behind in not one class but multiple classes, you kind of dig yourself into a hole. And junior year was a big struggle. It was a big, wake-up call for me personally. I had to overcome a lot of, missed assignments, make up a lot of those, get with my teachers, make sure I'm doing my past assignments and my new assignments.
Yeah. So, Aiden, because you're thriving this year, yes, I think you would agree, the things that you're doing this year, you're doing really well. What has helped you kind of change and turn your year around?
A lot of that has to do with Red Bank High School's staff. Our teachers genuinely care about Red Bank students. They're not looking for, a grade book or test scores or anything like that. They came to me personally and said, Aiden, you've never been this kind of student before. What's going on? Now, for me personally, it was looking forward to senior year, wanting to play baseball, wanting to, hang out with my friends. But they came with me and they sat down and they didn't just leave me out, in the dry and to let me dig myself out of this hole. They gave me a plan. They helped me get along with my grades. They helped me get the grades done. Some teachers, Miss Mindy DeWitt was my English teacher. She let me work on the new assignments, and then she even stayed after school some days, and even before baseball practice, she would help me get caught up on new assignments or the missing assignments, and that was extremely helpful for me.
So two things, obviously, just like your haircut, but
thank you.
Red Bank High School. Obviously, I have a little bit of bias there, but you're also a Tennessee fan.
Yes, sir.
Got the belt on, so appreciate that. Yes, Aiden, thanks for coming. Man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So I hope what you heard in both stories is that connections matter, right? And as a district, what we're committed to is creating for students connections to each other, connections to their teachers and other adults, and then connections to the community. Our objectives here, right, are again, nothing that's earth-shattering, but if we commit to these things, I really think, as you heard in Aiden's story, it will change the trajectory of years. So when we talk about creating that sense of belonging in schools and in the community, right, to ensuring that we're strengthening relationships between families and schools, because it is important for us to know, what are the strengths and barriers of kids, and who better to tell us than families? Post-pandemic, we want to welcome families back into our buildings to be partners with us to ensure that we're strengthening relationships and that we're continuing to improve the well-being of our students. It is vital for us, if we're going to improve academically, that we improve wellness supports for students. And our strategies with this, and I love this first one, is we want kids that are comfortable with challenge. We want kids that, are willing to put forth that extra effort, that are willing to really struggle with things and have, some productive, what we call disequilibrium. I shouldn't have tried to say that tonight, but that's important for kids to be comfortable with that as we push them forward. We also want to make sure that we're creating welcoming environments for school. There's a great example of this, and I'm going to introduce it starting with the video, but when we talk about welcoming environments, Dellwood Middle School has done a tremendous job in creating welcoming spaces for kids.
We don't just focus on academics at Dellwood Middle School, we try to make sure that the whole child is taken care of. We don't just focus on academics at Dellwood Middle School, we try to make sure that the whole child is taken care of so that they can perform at their best with those needs being met.
Our career clusters here have completely revolutionized what we think of middle school. The thing about our career clusters is that our kids are so excited to go to the career clusters. They don't want to miss a Wednesday at all because they know that they can engage in work that they're truly passionate about.
The 3 career clusters can help us prepare for business, to build a social media platform, and helps us maintain it and grow from it.
Some of the skills that they gain through our career clusters are preparing them for the 21st century in the workforce. So things that they can definitely carry on into their life and thereafter.
Reset spaces decrease suspension rates and behavior issues in the classroom. It also is teaching students strategies to recognize their triggers, to be able to ask for the resets, and teaching them techniques to take back to the classroom to handle conflict.
It means a lot to me because when I feel like I just need somewhere to go clear my mind or talk to somebody about how I'm feeling or need to get something off my chest, I just ask for a reset.
The incentive store motivates students by allowing them the opportunity to really see their good work in a tangible form. You have a certain amount of points for doing some of our 5 shared values, which are respectful, responsible, ready, reflective, and resilient. If you have any of those, then teachers will give you points for that. And so you can use those points to buy time to play video games with your friends, or get chips and snacks, or bikes. There are all kinds of great things, a tangible item to have for your good work.
It motivates us to keep going and making the right choices, even if we don't get a reward for it. It would just make you feel better about yourself, that you know you're doing good.
The Rider for Focus program is definitely a blessing, and I'm very excited to be able to be a part of that this year. The purpose of the Rider for Focus program is to promote cycling as an outlet for students to improve their cognitive, physical, and social emotional well-being.
Being a student at Dellwood is fun as it pushes us to keep striving at school.
What we know is that every school is different, every community is different, and so to create a sense of belonging, and if we really equip schools properly, is that we've got to trust the expertise of schools to make decisions about how to make welcoming environments, about how to provide those opportunities for students. I'd like to invite Rashad Williams, the principal at Dellwood Middle School, to come up here and join me. I had the pleasure of working for a year with Rashad in a school, and he always made me look bad by the way he dressed, so he's staying true to form tonight. Mr. Williams, I've been to Dellwood a lot, but when I went earlier this year at the completion of everything y'all have done, the career cluster is great, but it's like the environment. Talk to us about what that means for kids and for you as a community.
For us, school has to be a place where students feel they are welcome, they feel they're cared for, the place has to be comfortable. And when you implement those pieces, it just fundamentally, a lot of other things will fall in place. And so it was important that Dellwood became a place where our students could experience a sense of pride. I remember us going to another campus for a basketball game, and the students said, "This is a college campus." The translation for me was I had to get Dellwood's building to a place where they felt the same. They had to feel pride. And so we've done a lot of work with that campus. It's a beautiful campus. It's one of the oldest campuses. And we've done some unique things where our students now feel that sense of pride that when they come to school, they have something they're very much proud of.
So we're pushing more resources towards school with the staffing model, basically with the theory of action saying you're the leader of your school, your faculty, they're the experts in the building. You guys should be able to make some decisions of how to better serve your kids. We know we could send more, right? We know we could resource schools better. But what does that mean for you, and what are you thinking about how you can better serve kids with more resources?
So coming to Dellwood had some very unique needs. Not just Dellwood, but all schools are very unique with some very unique needs. And what we're being afforded now is the opportunity to meet those unique needs with the professional staff that will get us the result we need in reference to helping our students grow and thrive. So it's not just, I think of it as I can buy a suit off a rack, right? So if I buy a suit off a rack, it fits one way, but I can take it to my tailor, make it fit me, and it has a whole nother appearance. And so it's the same way with students. It's not just us taking just random staff who are not maybe best fit for those positions and to serve students in that capacity. It's allowing us to reach out and really get the professionals who do really well in that area, have proven success, to bring them in to empower our students to thrive and to grow.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, you've
done an amazing job. I mean, I'm serious. Like what you've done at Dellwood is you got to go over there and see it. If you don't see it, you wouldn't understand it. But you guys are doing a great job.
Not just me. I want to give kudos to have a phenomenal staff. I have a great community that supports me with stakeholders, and then have a great student body. So it is very much a collective effort. So thank you for the opportunity for highlighting us.
Yeah. So we again, you heard from not only from Mr. Williams, but through the video, like creating those environments that are safe, that are inviting. That's really important. We also know that safety and security is going to have to continue to be a top priority. What you're going to see from us in the next budget is an investment not only in the things that we've already done. We've already hardened entrances. We put security in buildings, but a more investment in counselors, 1 to 350. It's not the 1 to 250 we want to get to, but it's close. And a doubling of social workers in our buildings, because what we believe is that real safety comes from relationships and connections, and for making sure that kids feel welcomed in these spaces. And then we're going to continue to invest in resources to not only remove barriers, but also to build strengths and to make sure that each and every one of our students is served. So to that end, these are the strategies that we're looking at this year. And again, you can read more into these in the pamphlet or if you're online looking, but we're going to continue to look at customized solutions. I can't say that enough, that our community is very diverse. Again, when you go from one end of the county to another, you're going to see different strengths and different barriers, and we're going to continue to invest in that. Another investment that we've got to make, and we're going to continue to do better in this, is ensuring that we value our employees. I was a teacher once, and I was trying to think how to say this, and that came to me. The last time I was a teacher, we were still submitting attendance on attendance cards. What that tells you is that some things have changed, right? Some things have changed since the last time I was in a classroom, and what we know is that teaching is changing, and we've got to support our teachers, and we've got to value our teachers and make sure that they feel connected. Want to invite a couple of people, really three, but Donovan Davis, who is a counselor at Middle Valley. Donovan's been in, I think, at least 2, maybe 3 of our learning and listening sessions. And when I talked earlier about we've had some candid conversations, Donovan he's been one of the strongest voices of advocating for teachers, not just teachers, but kids, and what we need to do better as a system, what we need to do better as a state. So Donovan, thank you for coming, not only for being here, but being willing to advocate and being willing to be honest with us. What we've got to do is work together to ensure that we're moving forward. And we know we've got a long ways to go in terms of making sure our employees feel valued. Talk to us a little bit about what your thoughts were around how we can get better as a system.
Yeah, so initially Dr. Robinson, when they were like, well, you got 2 minutes, I was like, all right, that's a seemingly impossible task. But my hero, Fred Rogers, back in 1969, met before the Senate committee, and in just over 6 minutes was able to convince them that children were worth the investment.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try what I can this evening in my short amount of time. So the landscape in education has drastically changed since I was growing up watching Mr. Rogers. And if you haven't been in the classroom in the last 3 years, whew, wow. Our current public education culture, and time for a little bit of real talk, is a toxic environment for most educators, where we're feeling overwhelmed and under-supported. And recent data is proving that out. This current situation is alarming. A national survey completed last year shows that only 12% of teachers feel highly satisfied with their job. If we were to refer that to the TCAP performance level, it would be considered a level 1. And if the Department of Education and their school districts were a teacher, we would probably put them on a professional improvement plan. So how can we better support our teachers? Teachers and staff need opportunities to be heard. Leaders should listen and understand what's happening at our schools and then make every effort to improve learning environments based on that understanding. Teachers want what's best for students. We've already heard that this evening. But they need the flexibility and the autonomy within their school day to effectively support each individual child. We need district leaders that will believe in the capacity of teachers and the staff as trained professionals who can be trusted to make decisions for students. As discussed earlier, we need fully staffed buildings, fully staffed buildings to help support our students. We should be teaching our students the love of learning, especially our primary grade students. Currently, public education instead is so driven by getting results on paper that we lose sight what learning should be all about. It's incredibly draining on educators to participate in actions that they know are not what's best for kids. We need servant leaders at our central office and state-level department who are more interested in creating practical solutions for school-level staff than they are dictating checklists and hoops to jump through. Mr. Rogers always had a way of making people feel more supported and valued. At the end of the day, if we have any hope of turning the ship around, and I believe we can, teachers and school staff need courageous and relentless advocates. From our administrators to our learning community leads, our central office staff, our superintendent, our school board and other local officials, our community members, who are just as passionate about supporting us and valuing us as educators as we educators are passionate about supporting and valuing our students.
Donovan, so I hope you see why we invited him. Like, the passion is clear, the commitment is clear, and you know what we talked about a couple of times. We talked about it this evening. We want teachers who are willing to talk to us about what they need. What we often hear is that they're not willing to. So your willingness to stand up, I appreciate the example. Thank you for being here. So also want to invite just to talk a little bit about the new teacher experience. Sharon D. Papel, who's a second-year teacher at Orchard Knob Middle School and has done an incredible job, was at one of our listening sessions there. What we do with new teachers is support them years 1 through 3, right? Mentor teacher that walks side by side, provides some guidance. Talk to us a little bit about what that's meant for you in your first 2 years.
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest. I love my job. I love my students, but some days are just hard. And what has been amazing about my mentorships is that there's a roller coaster of really great days and not so great days. And these mentorships have been what has allowed me to get through all of them. And I used to work in finance before I came to education, and I had no mentors. Now I have more mentorships than I have time to list, and I know you don't want me to list all of them. But these are through formal mentorships that the district has provided, such as my new teacher coach. I will mention Molly Brown, because I'm not sure if you are a mentor or an angel. Thank you. To the mentor teacher within my own school building that I've been paired with. But beyond that, it has been also the informal mentorships. So just veteran teachers in the district who, through their own initiative, have reached out to support me because they know that my success. Sorry, I'm really nervous. I talk to students all day, and now I'm freaking out.
Doing great.
But as I was saying, they know that my success is student success. And I think at the end of the day, what makes all of these mentorships special is not just the sense of community and camaraderie they build, but their ability to teach me how to be a teacher in ways that my educator training program never could.
Yep.
So
awesome. Thanks for being a teacher. So good. Aaron Kirby works with our new teachers, and when we talked about the 95% staff rate, she obviously plays a part in that. But another fun fact of the evening is that we retained 91% of our new teachers last year. I'm not saying that's all you. It's not, but you're a catalyst for it, and you're the one that gives it energy and a vision. Talk to us a little bit about what it means to support new teachers.
Sure. So yeah, I basically get to be a new teacher cheerleader as the induction coordinator. And I mean, what better job is there, right? You get to support folks like Char and Deep. And so our induction program started 4.5 years ago, and we were just challenged with building a program to support new teachers. And we didn't have much of a budget, but we had a lot of heart. And our core values came very organically. We were at a dinner in PD in December, and I didn't have stipends yet to be able to provide funding for our new teachers to come 4.5 years ago, but I could go out and get free dinner for them. And one of our new teachers said, it's like you're feeding our hearts, our minds, and our bellies. And that stuck with me. And so our core values came of that. We've got this amazing wraparound system of support with lead mentors in every building, with support mentors matched 1-to-1, 1-to-2, and 1-to-3 for the first 3 years in Hamilton County schools. We've got new teacher coaches. We've got a lot of teacher supports that are just the people that are willing to just come and give any and all of their time to our new teachers. It's amazing. And, that's helped us be able to work hard every day to ensure that all of our new teachers feel connected to one another, that they feel knowledgeable about the expectations that are on them, but most importantly, that they feel valued.
That's awesome.
And, those great core values that came from dinner in PD.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Aaron B. Donovan, thank you. So I'm going off script here a little bit. We do this thing with principals called Real Talk, and there's some real talk around every employee valued. And the real talk is we got some ways to go, right? We know that teaching is difficult. We know that we've got to do better, but we're committed to it. And we're going to double, triple efforts to ensure that we are valuing employees. We're going to have a new metric for the first time that is strictly around employee satisfaction. We want to be held accountable to this, and we know we're not always going to get it right. We know that. We're going to trip up. We're going to make mistakes. But what I hope that you see tonight is that even when it's hard to hear, right, we're committed to listening, and then we're going to act on it. And few things that we've already acted on. What you heard tonight is we needed additional investments. In this upcoming budget, we're going to invest additional $25 million in school-based staffing and school-based resourcing. We're going to invest in doubling our social workers. We're going to invest in understanding that teachers are experts, principals are experts, and we're going to give them the guided autonomy to make decisions around what the needs are of their kids so that they can put the staff in place that they need. And we're excited about that and committed to it. So finally, efforts around this. We know we've got to expand recruitment and retention efforts. We're going to invest in it. As Aaron said, the budget's gone up a little bit higher since a few years ago, but we're going to continue to invest in that with the goal of being 95+% staffed each and every year at the beginning of it. It's a stretch goal. I'm telling you, that's really hard for us, but we know that we can do it. The biggest thing is what we want, and we feel like this is what we've heard from employees and especially teachers, is that they're professionals, right? Just as if a CPA is a professional, just as if a lawyer is a professional, and we need to provide opportunities for them to learn, opportunities for them to collaborate, to hone their craft. We know that teaching is a science. We also know it's an art, and they need time to work together in the professional learning opportunities to make sure they're creating those opportunities for kids. Thank you guys for coming up. Dr. Stewart, every community served.
Every community served. Our fifth commitment. So I always start with a story when I get to talk about this particular commitment. I heard a story a long time ago, and it was from the Maasai tribe in Kenya. And they had a greeting, a common greeting that they used. And the greeting went, they would greet each other by saying, "How are the children?" And the desired response was, "The children are well." Yes, all the children are well. And it makes me think about what would it mean for us as a city, as a county, as a state, as a country, to determine our wellness, to measure our wellness by the wellness of our children. And when we think of this commitment, every community served, we're going after that. We're saying it's all of us. And for us to be well, our children must be well. This particular commitment is really inviting our community into this journey with us, and as boldly saying we can't do it alone. We've got to do it in partnership. And so tonight I'm going to invite the Executive Director, Carrie Randolph of Chattanooga 2.0, to talk to us about the ways that she's been able to partner with us in this work. Carrie, start by talking to us about what it has meant for you to be a backbone organization in partnership with our school district.
Sure. I mean, you hit on it, Sonia, that really, Chattanooga 2.0 is founded on a really important idea. It will take more than our schools and our amazing educators to realize our vision of success for every child. It will take all of us. It'll take our business community, our nonprofit community, government, the faith community, parents, everyone. Yeah. And at 2.0, we support and lead work that connect across those sectors, like a backbone, to help us all be aligned and move together to accomplish big things for our kids.
That's right. So you're just talking about how you're going to bring us all together. What do you think can happen in this collective impact space? When our work is connected, what can we do together?
Yeah, in short, great things for our kids, but great things for our community. And I think that's the thing we all have to remember, that this is actually a selfish act in some ways, right? This is about our future prosperity. So I want everybody to pause for just a second and just think about who helped you on your path. Right? Who are the helpers in your life? And I bet there's a teacher that comes to mind, but I bet there are other people that come to mind too, right? It takes all of us to help students get what they need, to get past those barriers, and we have to work together to do that. And being connected is actually also a selfish act, because when we support our kids, we grow too. So, I mean, it's really about this community of care where we believe in our kids, and we help them dream big, and then we connect them to the opportunities to get there.
Well, I love you saying dream big, because I think one of the things you've done such a great job is you've come back and taken on this very important role with Chattanooga 2.0, is that you've pushed that dream. You're really challenging us to get to the table together and to dream big together so that our children will be well. So we appreciate you. Thank you. So if we look here at our objectives, we're talking about thriving for all, that all of our kids would in fact thrive. This second objective here is around wraparound services. I'm not sure if you've heard about our student success planning, but we're in our third year of what we call SSP. And student success planning is really a platform that's designed to individualize supports for our kids. We identify the kids' strengths, We identify some opportunity of need and we connect them to resources. Right now, 44 of our 76 schools are SSP schools, and we're moving to all 76 being SSP schools in just 2 years. So that wraparound service component that's intentional in its partnership with students or in partnership with partners. And then this last piece around families. We often say that we believe parents are our kids' first teacher and their best teacher. And our job as a school district is to honor that role, to honor that relationship, and to foster that connection in our schools and in our community. Some of our objectives around these post-secondary opportunities, you've already heard Dr. Robertson talk about some of those new partnerships. We continue to double down on these early post-secondary opportunities for our kids and continue to get them out in the workforce, because they are in fact the workforce of our future. Continuing to look around for the supports that we can pull around them to ensure that they are becoming all of who they were created to be. So as we get close to the end here, we wanted to bring up the portrait of the graduate. This is work that's been going on for just over a year. We convened all sorts of different stakeholders, parents, students, teachers, principals, and community members. And we said, if we get this right, if we get this K-12 thing right, what would we hope would be true about our kids when they exit our system? And believe it or not, they didn't say, we hope that they master standard 9.3.2, right? They didn't say that. They said, we want them, of course, to have strong knowledge and understanding. They have to know the content, right? But they said, we want more than that. We want this resiliency that we need to see in them, some cultural awareness, the ability to communicate effectively. And so we've been able to partner and create this portrait of a graduate. And the way we really look at it is, this is our goal for how our kids will leave us, and our job is to backwards map to get to this goal.
If we do this work well, if we serve our employees well, if we serve our students well, if our community comes behind us and supports this plan, this is what we will graduate. These are the students that, we'll send out to be life ready in our community. It's exciting when you think about it that, you've got a son or a daughter that we're going to see some elementary kids here in a minute. 6, 7 years from now, hopefully this is what your son or daughter looks like. Opportunity 2030. This is a moment, y'all. This is a moment as a community for us to come together. What we know is that for kids to succeed, we have to serve them holistically. Again, it's not always just about standards, but it's about creating opportunities for students. What we know is that we've got to support teachers better, give them the flexibility to serve kids well, because kids deserve a great teacher. What we also know is that kids deserve to be in a great building, an inviting space, and that's not all physical, although some of it is physical. But we need to create welcoming environments for kids. And when we do this well, not only can we answer that question in the positive, but we're going to graduate really great students. I want us to understand and be clear. We're not always going to agree. There are going to be things that distract us. There are going to be things that can get us off target. But what we want to go back to, and what we always want to remember as we move forward in this plan, is that our objective is for all kids to thrive and experience a future without limits. And the way that we do that is by creating opportunity by design for our students. I'm going to invite Battle, if you guys want to start coming in. We're running a little bit late, so I'm going to kind of go off script here too. We want to hear your voice. I hope tonight what you have heard is that we really want your input. You guys, come on. Really want your input. So what's coming up is the budget season. And the way that we show we're committed to this plan is by showing a budget that matches the priorities. And so there are opportunities for you to give us input in our next budget, and for you to be a participant in that budget. So when we talk about opportunity by design, I don't think there's come on guys, you're not going to mess me up. I don't think there's a better way to show it than this. So these students from Battle have been practicing for their first school musical of the year, and it's actually a Broadway show. So we're talking about building on some of their strengths. Some of them probably were already great singers and great performers, but also creating opportunity for some of these kids to really, for first time, some of you earlier raised your hand. There was about 7 that said, I've never been in a play or been in a musical, right? How many? Yeah. So for the first time, providing them, the opportunity to really shine. So when we talk about opportunity by design, this is what it looks like. And so what we hope is over the next 7 years, you'll join us in Hamilton County Schools to make sure that we are serving kids well. Turn it over to Battle. Let's hear it.
Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze. It means no worries for the rest of your day. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata? Yeah, it's our motto. What's a motto? Nothing. What's a motto with you? Hakuna Matata. These 2 words will solve all your problems. That's right. Take it over here. Why? When he was a young warthog. When I was a young warthog. Very nice. Thanks. He found his arm lacked a certain appeal. He could clear the savannah after every meal. I'm a sensitive soul, although I seem thick-skinned. And it hurt that my friends never stood downwind. And they'll say he was ashamed. Thought in changing my name. Oh, what's in his name? And I got downhearted. How'd you feel? Every time that I not in front of the parents. Oh, sorry. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze. It means no worries for the rest of your day. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. Welcome to our Gee, I'm starved. I'm so hungry I could eat a whole zebra. Yeesh. Listen, kid, if you're gonna live with us, you gotta eat like us. I'm gonna be a mighty king, so enemies beware. Well, I've never seen a king or beast with quite so little hair. I'm gonna be the main event, like no king was before. I'm brushing up on looking down. I'm working on my roar. The far rather an inspiring thing. Oh, I just can't wait to be king. No one say do this. No one say be there. No one say stop that. No one say see here. See here. Free to run around all day. Free to do it all my way. Everybody look left. Everybody look right. Everywhere you look, I'm standing in the spotlight. Let every creature go broke and sing. Let's hear it in the herd on the wing. It's gonna be King Simon's finest thing. Oh, I just can't wait to be king. Just can't wait to be king. Oh, I just can't wait to be king.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for attending this year's State of the System. Have a safe drive home, and we look forward to talking to you soon. Good night, everyone.